Dinosaurs still fascinate kids and adults alike today. It's so much fun to imagine what the Earth looked like millions of years ago. What would life be like if Tyrannosaurus rex still roamed the Earth? But were dinosaurs the first living things on Earth? Or were there other animals on Earth before the dinosaurs ruled the world? Long before the mighty dinosaurs roamed the Earth, a vastly different world existed. Join us on a journey back in time as we explore what our planet was like before the age of the dinosaurs. During the Paleozoic era, which spanned nearly 300 million years from 541 to 252 million years ago, Earth underwent dramatic transformations. Around 300 million years ago, Earth was in the middle of the Carboniferous period. During this time, the supercontinent Pangaea was forming, bringing together the major landmasses of the time. The climate was generally warm and humid, with vast swampy forests covering large areas. The oxygen levels on Earth was much less than what they are today, and the weather was chilly, with some areas averaging a temperature of 4 degrees Celsius. On land, the dominant plants were giant ferns, club mosses, and horsetails. These vegetation types grew luxuriantly and formed extensive coal swamps, leading to the deposition of significant coal reserves that are exploited today. The forest supported a diverse range of amphibians and early reptiles, including the ancestors of dinosaurs. If we talk about marine life, sharks and bony fish were becoming more common, while marine invertebrates like ammonites and brachiopods flourished. Coral reefs also began to develop during this period. The Carboniferous period marked an important era of plant and animal diversification, with many new evolutionary adaptations occurring. It was a time of significant geological and biological changes that set the stage for the subsequent Permian period and the eventual formation of the supercontinent Pangaea. This period was much hotter than before. Around 290 million years ago, Earth was in the late Carboniferous period, specifically in the Pennsylvanian Epoch. During this time, the supercontinent Pangaea continued to form. The climate was generally warm and humid, with large swampy forests covering extensive areas. These forests were dominated by giant ferns, horsetails, and lycopsids. The dense vegetation created a rich habitat for a diverse range of amphibians and early reptiles. Insects also thrived and diversified during this period, with the emergence of various groups like dragonflies and cockroaches. These animals were not how we know them today. The cockroaches were gigantic, almost the size of birds. But these large bugs weren't ruling the land. A terrifying ancient lizard called the Dimetrodon was considered as the king of all the land animals. This apex predator grew up to 5 meters in length and weighed approximately 225 kilograms. Moving on, the oceans were home to a variety of marine life. Ammonites, brachiopods, and crinoids were abundant, along with a growing diversity of sharks and bony fish. Coral reefs continued to flourish and expand. It's important to note that around 290 million years ago, Earth was approaching the end of the Carboniferous period. The subsequent period, the Permian, would bring significant changes to Earth's ecosystems. In the middle of the Permian period, the Earth kept getting hotter with an average temperature of 25 degrees Celsius. Furthermore, volcanoes were spitting greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. During this time, the supercontinent Pangaea continued to exist, but it started to show signs of fragmentation. The vast desert regions covered much of the land. However, there were also areas with more moderate climates and lush vegetation, particularly in coastal regions. Marine life thrived in the oceans, with a diverse array of organisms such as brachiopods, ammonites, and early forms of marine reptiles. Many more complex marine species came and went as the climate kept changing. On land, reptiles began to dominate, including various types of archosaurs and early therapsids, which were mammal-like reptiles. They had strong jaws with sharp teeth, which looked fascinating yet terrifying. The Permian period was characterized by the emergence of large and diverse groups of insects, including beetles, dragonflies, and primitive cockroaches. In addition, the Earth was nearing the end of the Permian period, and major changes were about to take place. Around 260 million years ago, the Earth was in the last stages of the Permian period. During this time, the supercontinent Pangaea continued to exist, although it was still undergoing fragmentation. More and more volcanic eruptions were happening, which reduced the amount of oxygen in the air. During the time, the atmosphere consisted of only 10% oxygen, which is far less compared to the 21% today. The climate was generally warm and arid, with vast desert regions. In the oceans, fish populations were increasing and new marine reptiles such as ichthyosaurs and plesiosaurs began to emerge. Ammonites continued to thrive and diversify. On land, new groups of animals were evolving. Reptiles continued to dominate with the emergence of archosaurs, the ancestors of dinosaurs and crocodiles. Plants were also undergoing changes. Seed ferns and primitive conifers were still prevalent, but new groups of plants such as cycads and ginkgos started to appear. The terrestrial environment gradually became more diverse as different species adapted to new ecological niches. The Permian period came to an end approximately 252 million years ago with a major extinction event known as the Permian-Triassic Extinction Event, or the Great Dying. This event was the most severe mass extinction in Earth's history, resulting in the loss of around 90% of marine species and about 70% of terrestrial species. The causes of the Permian-Triassic extinction event are still being studied, but several factors likely contributed. These include massive volcanic eruptions that released large amounts of greenhouse gases, leading to global warming and significant climate change. This warming may have triggered oceanic anoxia, where oxygen levels in the oceans were severely depleted, causing the death of marine organisms. The extinction event also saw the collapse of ecosystems and the disruption of food chains. Many groups of organisms, including trilobites, brachiopods, and amphibians, were severely affected. However, some organisms, such as certain reptiles and insects, managed to survive and pave the way for the subsequent recovery and diversification of life during the Triassic period. The Permian-Triassic extinction event had long-lasting effects on the planet's biodiversity and set the stage for the emergence of new ecosystems and the rise of different groups of organisms in the subsequent geologic periods. Thanks a lot for watching this video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Also, tell us your thoughts in the comments section down below. Thanks for watching.